Welcome to the Friday Night Campfire Stories. My name is Rob and I will be your host for this evening. Here on the channel, we try to keep our weeks as creepy as possible, and I find the best way to do that every single Wednesday is by sharing a story that is true, that happens to people just like you and me, to the people who least expect it. That's why every Wednesday we dive into a true crime story in my series, Far From Fiction. On November 24th, 1971, a man boarded Northwest Orient Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. He would become known as D.B. Cooper, the mastermind behind America's only unsolved commercial airline hijacking. Described as a quiet man in his mid-40s, Cooper ordered a bourbon and soda while waiting for takeoff. Shortly after 3 p.m., he handed a note to a flight attendant, claiming he had a bomb in his briefcase. He demanded $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck standing by in Seattle to refuel the aircraft upon arrival. The airline agreed, and upon landing, Cooper exchanged the 36 passengers for ransom and parachutes, keeping several crew members on board. Cooper's knowledge of aviation was evident. He knew the Boeing 727's unique features, including its aft stairways, which he used for his escape. Somewhere between Seattle and Reno, a little after 8 p.m., Cooper did the unthinkable. He jumped out of the back of the plane with the parachute and the ransom money. He disappeared into the night, and his ultimate fate remains a mystery to this day. The FBI launched an extensive investigation, interviewing hundreds of suspects and scouring the wilderness for where Cooper might have landed. Despite their efforts, no definitive evidence of Cooper's fate was found. In 1980, a young boy discovered $5,800 in decomposed $20 bills along the Columbia River. This was identified as part of Cooper's ransom money. The discovery deepened the mystery, providing a tantalizing clue but no concrete answers. Over the years, numerous suspects have been proposed. One notable individual is Richard McCoy Jr., a former Army helicopter pilot who committed a similar hijacking in 1972. Some believe he was D.B. Cooper, but he was ruled out due to difference in appearance and methods. Theories about Cooper's fate range from him not surviving the jump to living under a new identity. The challenging terrain and weather conditions that night suggest he may have not survived, but the recovered ransom money complicates this theory. In recent years, advancement in forensic technology have led to new analysis of old evidence. Investigators have examined particles found on Cooper's tie, suggesting he may have worked in a manufacturing environment. In 2024, a parachute was discovered in North Carolina, believed to be linked to Cooper. This finding had reignited interest in the case, with some speculating it could provide the breakthrough the investigators have long sought. The enigma D.B. Cooper endures, captivating the public's imagination for over 5 decades. Was he a meticulous mastermind who executed the perfect crime, or did he meet a tragic end in the wilderness? Until conclusive evidence emerges, the legend of D.B. Cooper remains one of America's most intriguing unsolved mysteries. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the mystery of D.B. Cooper. If you have any theories or insight, feel free to share them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime stories. That is going to do it for today. I hope that you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to click that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We did just hit 50 subscribers. I do want to thank you guys so much for that. Finally achieving that goal. As one road comes to an end, another one opens, though, as now we are on the road to 100 subscribers. So if you are new here, please be sure to click that subscribe button. Now for the rest of the video, I am going to be speaking about one announcement that I made last Friday. Haven't gotten to talk to you guys face-to-face about it yet, so I am going to be doing that now. It is about my new book called A Perfect Journey Through Villainous Eyes. It is coming out on March 1st. If you don't have any interest in hearing anything more than just the announcement of it, then, you're free to leave if you would like. I understand. But if you are interested, thank you for sticking around. I do have some things I want to talk to you guys about. First of all, yes, Perfect Journey Through Villainous Eyes, a collection of 6 stories. They're going to be anthology stories, a little bit different than the first book that I released called A Whisper in the Shadow, which is available on Amazon now if you have any interest. But this book is, to me, it is much more in depth from a writing standpoint. I'm very proud of it. Not to say I wasn't proud of the first book, it's just I feel like I was still very green as a writer in the first book, and now this one I feel like you see the leaps and bounds that I've taken. The first book, Whisper in the Shadow, I'm very, very proud of the stories. I will always stand by that. They're some of my favorite stories that I've came up with. But now I think you can see the stories develop better and the writing be a lot better for this next book, A Perfect Journey Through Villainous Eyes. I also think these stories are also very incredible. One of them in particular, the first one that you would read if you got the book, is called Astral. I don't know, there's something special about that, and I think you guys are really, really going to enjoy that, so I'd recommend checking that out. I also want to say that there is going to be a few other differences in this book compared to the last one. So the first one, A Whisper in the Shadows, is more focused on the horror-themed aspect. This one I would say is more thriller, not to say there isn't horror aspects to it, but it is more thriller. My plan is to release 2 books every single year, one in the fall and one in the spring. The one in the spring, I think I am going to be focused more on the thriller aspect of stories. Not to say I'm not going to write any horror at all in these stories. There's a horror story in this book as well, but the other 5 are more focused at what I would call thriller, but they do have some horror aspects to them as well. Yeah, so the spring would be more focused on the thriller side of the stories that I write, and the fall would be more focused on the horror-themed, given I feel like that's the right way to do it because, fall feels like more spooky season, so that might be a good way to do it. The other big difference that we need to talk about is the length of the book. So my first book, I would say, is a collection of short stories, and I'm going to say we are moving out of the realm of short stories and focusing more on longer stories, more not novels but still longer. So I would say these 6 stories would be a collection of anthologies, not short stories. This also means the book is going to be much, much longer. I think the first book was about 243 pages, if I'm correct. This one is going to be 633, so it is a big leap. And the reason for the growth in the book is really for character development, story progression, things that I feel like I wish I would have included more of in the first book, but now we're getting it in this one. Again, we'll continue to see that grow as my author journey goes on. The last thing I want to talk about is the price difference. I do want to be open and transparent and honest with you guys because this book is going to be a bit more expensive than the last one. So obviously this book is a lot bigger, so you are getting more, but it is still a bit of a price increase, which was my plan, I would say, for a little bit. I wasn't planning on that big of a price increase, but I figured I did work a lot harder on it. I feel like you're getting a much more better quality book with this, and so because of that, I was going to put it up to about $11.99, so it was going to be like $2 higher. However, when I did that, the Amazon pretty much had told me that you can't do that, and the reason why was because if I would have put it at $11.99, every book that I would have sold, I would actually had to pay part of it for you guys to be able to get it. And I don't have the money to be able to do that, unfortunately. I wish I did. The minimum that I could put it at was $14.99. And so that was going to be my plan. So, okay, I'll do $14.99. However, they told me then my royalty for selling each book would be 40 cents, which, again, I'm not trying to go crazy rich off of these stories, but at the same time, the thought of selling 100 books even at $15, Amazon's making $1,500 and I would be making $40. It's a bit of a slap in the face when you put so much work and so much effort into these stories. So the official price of the paperback book, let me say, I don't know if I prefaced that earlier, but for the actual physical edition is going to be $17.99. I know it is not available for pre-order. Don't know if Amazon allows that for paperback books. If they do, I didn't see an option for that, but it is scheduled to release on March 1st. Now, obviously, like I said, the price is a lot higher. And honestly, my royalty is still not even that high for it, but it's somewhere I guess I'm gonna have to find a middle ground where you guys can get it for as cheap as possible, and I can get as much of a royalty as I'm able to. There are other options if the paperback edition is a little too expensive. There is the e-reader version, which is only $6.99, and I don't know if I should be saying this or not, but do you get that version? I actually get double the royalty, so don't know how that made sense either, but yeah, so you can get the $6.99 version. It's also going to be available on Kindle Unlimited. I believe you can pre-save it right now, along with the pre-order of the ebook. If you have any interest in that and are subscribed to Kindle Unlimited, definitely hit the pre-save option so you'll have it ready to read on March 1st. Of course, the final option is, of course, we will be sharing the stories in the book, except for one, here on the channel. We'll be sharing the stories here on the channel in the upcoming months. I think we're going to start in April is when the first story will be read. And like I said, we'll be reading 5 of the 6 books. One of them, which is called Booth, will be a book exclusive. And the reason why is because one of the books, Astral, that I talked about earlier, that I'm very, very excited for, actually ran into 8 chapters. Usually we do 4 chapters here on the channel. So we can have one every single week, and we can start a new story at the first Friday of every single month. However, with Astral, there was just so much going on. There's so many events that happened, so I felt like it was too much in each chapter for 4 chapters, so I did stretch it to 8 chapters. And so because of that, we had to cut one book and make it a book exclusive, which, like I said, is going to be called Booth, which is another book that I loved writing. It was one of my favorite and most challenging books to write, and I'm very proud of how it turned out. But yes, that will be a book exclusive that you will not be able to hear unless you purchase the book or read the book or get the e-reader, paperback, Kindle Unlimited version, whatever that case may be. That's the only way you'll be able to get that. Other than that, though, the other 5 we will be sharing on the channel over the upcoming months, starting in April, running all the way until August. But if you're an avid reader or you just cannot wait, then I would definitely recommend getting some form of the book, like I said, either the paperback or the e-reader edition. I am very excited for it. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Like I said, March 1st is when A Perfect Journey Through Villainous Eyes comes out. I think you guys are really, really going to like it, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. But that is going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to click that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, thank you for spending a little bit of your evening here with me.